Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very long-awaited thing. I've been trying so hard to find a different way of doing things. It's just that Bandicam has been working so well for me, so I decided Bandicam is what we're going to be using. So today we are going to be playing a Clash of Kings Mountain Blade Warband mod. If you don't know what this is about, it is basically a mod that is about what show was that, or what book was that? Can't think of it right now. I'm pretty sure I'll tell you later. Let's just get this thing started, shall we? First read the books, but I think it would be a really good idea just to what it feels like to play this. Okay, now let's read. You go for a stroll in the streets of your hometown when you hear that King Robert has been gored to death by a large boar. The fishmonger that you're speaking with tells you that Eddard Stark, the Hand of the King, tried to usurp the throne, but the valiant King Joffrey's advisors managed to foil his plot, and peace has surely been restored. However, a few days later, a weary traveler arrives with more news. Following the imprisonment of Lord Stark, the Northern Lords marched south to defeat the Lannisters and free their liege. They ambushed the army of the Kingslayer, routed his forces, and captured Sir Jaime, after which they broke the siege of River Run. All of a sudden, the odds seem to be turning against Joffrey, and his name is no longer shouted in the streets. Making a quick decision, you decide to strike out, hurriedly selling off your meager possessions to a fat innkeeper and packing only the most essential. You finally feel like you can control your own destiny, and that whatever course you take, great deeds await you. We are obviously going to be a male. My father was a man-at-arms. I spent my early life as a craftsman apprentice. Later, I became a sellsword. My reason for this adventure is personal revenge. Okay, now let's read it. You were born years ago. Your father was a man-at-arms. He served the old Lord Went as a guardsman, a boring and predictable life. You started to learn about the world almost as soon as you could walk and talk. You spent your early life as a craftsman apprentice. As a boy growing out of childhood, you were apprenticed with a local craftsman from Duskendale. After years of hard work and study under your new master, he promoted you to a journeyman and employed you as a fully paid craftsman for as long as you wished to stay. Then, as a young adult, life changed as always does. You became a sellsword. You signed on with a sellsword company and traveled far from your home. The life you found was rough and ready, marching to the beat of strange drums and learning unusual ways of fighting. There were men who taught you how to wield any weapon you desired, and plenty of battles to hone your skills. You were one of the charmed few who survived through every campaign in which you marched. But as soon as everything changed and you decided to strike out on your own as an adventurer, what made you take this decision was personal revenge. Only you know exactly what caused you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. Still, it was not a difficult choice to leave. With the rage burning brightly in your heart, you want vengeance, you want justice. What was done to you cannot be undone, and these debts can only be paid in blood. As a common man, you may face some difficulties establishing yourself as an equal among the great lords. Now, with the things I've chose, I'll start beginning with a strength of 10, agility of 7, intelligence of 4, and charming of 4. I will have 1 plus 1 iron flesh, plus 1 power strike, plus 1 weapon master, plus 1 in writing, plus 1 in inventory management, plus 1 in engineer, plus 1 in trade, and these are all the plus 30. I would have a 35 inside of one-handed, 15 in two-handed, 15 in polearms, 35 in archery, 15 in crossbow, and 15 in throwing. Do we want to gather companions? I don't know what that does. I don't remember. I think it gathers all your companions in one spot. And then there's Fog of War. We're not going to do any of this, mostly because I like to see the entire world, and I think it would be a little more fun if we could find every companion if we possibly can. So we are going to start now. We're going to do it realistic. Okay, we have 4 attribute points. I for one like to try to put everything as even as possible, but I'm gonna put 2 in here because I played one game off camera where I would where I basically cheated. I used cheats. Yeah, I know, not the best thing. And I'm gonna put 2 in here. I'm gonna put 2 in leadership, 1 in prisoner management. I'm going to put Iron Flesh and Iron Strike. I'm going to put one-handed because that's what I basically want to do. One-handed and archery if I possibly can. We are going to call ourselves Reiner. No. Matriline. I don't know if that's an actual name, but I'm just going to go with Matriline. Reiner Matriline. I have to say. I'm gonna see if I can go with a little more realistic. I have brown hair. I am pretty young. My hair, my hair, well, I guess it's not that bad. Beard. We should have that. A young man with a pretty much a semi-goatee. Well, unattached goatee. Skin? I kinda like him. He seems like the sort. How much time do we have left? I'm sorry. We have about 3 minutes. So we have enough time to get started. I prefer not to mess with this, mostly because I'm not a big fan of all that, RPG, trying to find the perfect thing for you. I just like to go with what I'm given. Ooh, kind of blackish hair. I kind of like that. Wow. I'll try to go a little more brown. Yeah, no, that's good enough, I guess. And let's see, we start out with a polearm, one-handed sword, and a dagger, and a shield. Although I don't think that's given to us immediately. You join a merchant and his family traveling towards Storm's End. Green shoots of wheat, barley, and oats are all across the dark soil, the dark soil of the rolling hills. And on the lower slopes of the snow-capped mountains, herds of cattle, roaches, and sheep are grazing on the summer grass. Occasionally, too, you catch sight of one of the great war horses that are the pride of nobility. The land here is rich, but also troubled, as the occasional burnt-out farm bears witness, a testament to the chaos the Tyrell host caused when it marched through 16 years earlier. You keep a wide berth of the forests, where desperate men have taken refuge. While passing by the burned ruins of Summer Hall, the merchant declares that he's changed his mind, wanting to take his wares to Weeping Tower instead, having heard that Lysany galleys docking at the nearby harbor. Following a long trek through the rainwood, you finally see the town of the Weeping Tower in the distance. You are exhausted by the time you find the inn and go in search of a decent tavern. According to an old blind man sitting in the corner, drinking a mug of stale ale, a kraken has been seen off the coast of Dawn, and a 5-headed calf has been born, killing its mother in the process. Surely an omen to be taken seriously. Dismissing the old fool as crazy, you venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden, you hear the sound that stands the hairs on your neck on end, the rasp of a blade sliding from its